This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today that you will consider this like your vitamin and mineral and supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. It will enable others to be able to locate this podcast. Thank you very much. Today I want to speak about the grateful leader. I want to talk about 9 ways in which I believe that it helps every leader to develop an attitude of gratitude. So let's dive right in. The very first one is that it will help you to be a positive leader. Now, I am probably somewhat by nature a more optimistic person. That doesn't mean that I don't get discouraged. It doesn't mean that I don't have a bad day, but more than likely, more often than not, rather, I am optimistic. But I have some friends who are a little more pessimistic, and they're always telling me when I challenge them on that they're not really pessimistic, that they're realists. And again, I want to say it. Where did it become accepted that pessimism is reality and optimism is fairy dust and dreams in the clouds? The fact of the matter is you are as likely, and I'm going to say more likely, to have a realistic appraisal when you're positive than when you're negative. What happens when someone gets into a negative charge is they just can't see the good in anything. So the very first reason right out of the chute of why one should be a grateful leader is that it helps you to remain positive. Gratitude, as someone has said, is the healthiest of all human emotions. So let's cultivate an attitude of gratitude. I think another reason why you should be a grateful leader or should cultivate gratitude in your life, it really battles pride. It really kind of dissipates pride. Let's be honest, pride is something nearly everyone has to battle with. And especially it seems to be an occupational hazard for those who are called into leadership, whether it's leadership in your home, a not-for-profit, in your business, or wherever you may be. We begin to believe what people are saying, and we begin to believe our own press clippings. And we begin to say, I really am something else. I really do know what I'm doing. I really am an exceptional human being. But developing an attitude of gratitude and developing a grateful heart keeps us centered, keeps us realizing that everything every one of us receives daily is a gift from God. So one of the reasons why you need to really develop into a grateful leader is it will combat pride, which rears its head at difficult times. The third reason for being a grateful leader is gratitude energizes. Rarely do you see an energized pessimist. A pessimist, by the very nature and definition of the word, is someone who sits down, throws their hands up in the air, and says, "What's the use? Why try? It doesn't make any difference." Whereas when you realize you have received a lot of gifts, you have lived a blessed life. Yes, things may not be well where you are today, but it could be worse, and you have been the beneficiary of a lot of positive benefits in your life. Just me saying it right now into a microphone is in and of itself energizing to me. And as a leader, you're going to need to create energy. If you want the people in your organization to be energetic, you as a leader have to be so. Now, I'm not talking about a fake it till you make it. I'm talking about a deep, settled peace, an energy that comes, and it more than likely comes when a person is expressing gratitude. The fourth way to develop into a grateful leader is to be a thankful person. I started beginning this year, something I have done often, but I've done it very conscientiously this year. And that is I pick 2 people out every day in which I will somehow contact them. Some it's been through the old-fashioned way of handwriting a note. Others it's been an email, it's been a text, a Facebook Messenger, whatever the way of communicating with that person seems appropriate. I don't want anything from them. I'm not looking for anything from them. But I just want to thank them for their friendship, thank them for the contributions they've made in my life, my organization. I thank them for doing a good job and for being the person they are. Now, oftentimes, I'm going to say 70, 80% of the time, I hear back from the person and they thank me. But that's not the reason really that one ought to do this. Something mystically happens when I send those notes out, when I compose them. I can feel my attitude soften. I can feel myself be encouraged. I feel myself offering thanksgiving for that person and their influence in my life and the difference they are not only making in the world, but the difference they're making in their life and my life. Gratitude has a Siamese twin, as it were, an identical twin, and that's thankfulness. Have you stopped today and just said thank you? I've become a big fan in these days of a gratitude journal. Now, I don't have a separate gratitude journal, but I have a gratitude section in the journals that I'm using, in which I just write down, I'm thankful for my wife, I'm thankful for my child, I'm thankful for some of my adopted kids and people that I have known and worked with, and my life has been blessed. I reflect on people who are no longer here, but saw something in me when no one else did and gave me an opportunity, and I am forever in their debt, and I will forever be grateful. Just taking a few moments every day of offering thanks. If you're a spiritual person, offer thanks to God for His benefits and His goodness in your life. A grateful leader, more often than not, is going to be a thankful leader. And when you offer gratitude, you turn every day into Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, in my country, we have a national holiday in the autumn called a day of Thanksgiving. Well, if you're offering gratitude and you're giving thanks to people, we can turn every day into Thanksgiving. And that's the kind of leader I want to be. And that's the kind of leader that people are attracted to. The other thing that I would say kind of goes along with that, it's the fifth reason that I believe we should all seek to be grateful leaders, is that gratitude has an ability to draw people to us. If there is a grateful person at one end of the room and a downtrodden pessimist in the other, who is hanging black crepe and telling us we're not going to make it and how bad and how awful, and yet at the other end of the room there's a person offering thanksgiving who seems to be interested in others and is drawing conclusions on gratefulness and thanksgiving, which of those two individuals are going to draw people to themselves? Now, some negative folks may be drawn to the pessimistic end, but more times than not, the person who is grateful, the leader who is grateful, becomes like a magnet and begins to attract people. I'm even going to say they begin to attract opportunities into their life. You see, Thanksgiving and gratitude go together because silent gratitude isn't much use to anyone. We should let people know how grateful we are for their help, for their assistance, and for them just being who they are. So the idea is, the fifth is that gratitude draws. We ought to develop the spirit of gratitude because it has an attraction to it that will attract people into our lives. The sixth of 9 reasons that I believe you and I should be a grateful leader is, did you notice that if you spelled out the word gratitude, the root word of gratitude is attitude? And many times it is our skill set that needs to improve. Our knowledge base needs to be improved. We need to learn how to be wiser and more prudent. I get all of that, and we should, in fact, be developing ourselves continually. But the root of everything that makes you and me who we are is the attitude. And long before they draw a conclusion about us, they come to a conclusion about our attitude. And if you want to develop a positive attitude, an attractive attitude, then you start by being grateful. The attitude of gratitude can become all pervasive in our lives. And what most people really need to change is they need an attitude adjustment. They need to have a better attitude than what they have. I'm not so sure, but that it is a fact that attitude has done more to keep people down and to keep them from being all they need to be. And if you want to change that, and if you'd like to see that changed in your life, there's really one simple way to do that, and that is work on your attitude. You see, it's not happy people who are thankful and grateful. It's thankful people who are happy. We think, oh, they're happy because everything's going their way. I have visited enough of the world's nations and been with people who have very little of what we think in my culture that will bring you happiness, and yet they just exude joy, because joy and attitude and gratitude is an inside job. It's not dependent on whether everything's going your way or whether or not you have everything that you desire, or that if you've gotten all the breaks. Has nothing to do with it. It's an attitude. And the root of gratitude is attitude. So work on your attitude. The seventh thing that I want to say about the grateful leader is it really ties into a concept of sowing and reaping. Now, many people turn that off because they believe that that's a Bible term. You reap what you sow. But I'm here to tell you it's as much a part of the world, it seems, as the law of gravity. You are reaping today whatever it is you have sown in your life. That, just make no mistake about it, that's how it works. There are a couple other things that I want to say about sowing and reaping. You have to sow first before you reap. And so one of the ways to do that is just develop and make up your mind you're going to be a grateful and thankful leader, and you're going to sow a lot of gratitude and positive attitude. You're going to be a helper. You're going to be an encourager. You're going to look to others. So you have to sow before you reap. And here's what I also know. You reap a lot more than you sow. So be careful the seed you're sowing, because that will determine the kind of harvest you're going to reap. And believe me, my friends, I don't care who you are or where you live. There is a harvest season coming for everyone. The eighth one that I want to discuss about why it is important to be a grateful leader is gratitude leads to generosity. Grateful people, just by and large, are generous people. They realize they have received freely, they have received, so freely they give. Someone in your life invested time in you. It's time, ma'am and sir, that we sow generously into other people's lives. We should be on the lookout for people that we can invest in. None of us would be where we are today had someone not taken a chance on us, and someone had not risked something and presented to us an opportunity. Now, these opportunities don't usually happen exponentially from where we are. It may just be another segment up. It may be something at the time that seems small and inconsequential, and yet it led to more doors being opened. It's time in the lives of many of us for us to give the same opportunity to others, especially to younger leaders, that were given to us when we were young. All of you who, if you'll stop and think about it, can see a name and a face before your mind of someone who believed in you and gave you that opportunity. Let's be that kind of a grateful, generous leader and do that for someone else. The last thing that I want to say about a grateful leader is one who's able to focus on the future. Unfortunately, too many people are stuck in the past. Someone done them wrong. Someone did something. Someone said something. Someone cut them out of a promotion. Someone got ahead through nefarious purposes and reasons, and they've always been left holding the short end of the stick. If you just decide today to develop an attitude of gratitude and be a grateful leader, it gets you from being stuck in the past and paralyzed in the present to purposeful for the future. Focus on the future, and grateful people are able to do that. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today that this has been like a vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? Leave a rating and a brief written review. It is so important and so helpful, and I really appreciate it. My leadership friend, never forget, you are doing better even today than you think you are. You really are making a difference. And so until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.